What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. So today I am back with 3 looks, and today's 3 looks are going to be things that look like you did the most, but you did a medium amount. I'm going to be doing 3 looks using the James Charles palette today, and I chose the James Charles palette again because it is a very colorful palette that a lot of us have on hand. But if you don't have the James Charles palette and you do want to recreate these looks, some similar palettes that you could also use are the BH Take Me Back to Brazil palette. It has a lot of similar colors, and also the Morphe 35B, which is the palette that this palette replaced in their lineup. With those 2 palettes, you should be able to get a really similar look to all 3 of these, although you may need to dip into some neutrals from other outside palettes because unlike the James Charles palette, those 2 palettes are only brights. But I wanted to do something like this because a lot of times I really do want to look like my makeup has a lot of impact, but I don't always have a ton of time to do it. So I'm trying to focus on things that have like a lot of contrasting colors, or maybe make a statement with how they're paired with the lip that you choose. And that gives you like a lot of visual impact rather than having to spend a ton of time on something intricate. So I thought that would be a good 3 looks video. And you know, like, who doesn't like bright colors? You know what I mean? Before we get started, please don't forget to leave a like on this video if you don't mind taking a second, because it helps my channel tremendously and I always appreciate it, and I always appreciate the feedback. So if you like these types of videos, that lets me know. And also, if you are new here, maybe you've perused a video or 2 and you're on the fence and you're like, wow, should I subscribe to Nicole? Yes, you should. You should subscribe right now. Also wanted to say thank you to so many of you guys who let me know that you left me a Sephora testimonial for the 2019 Sephora squad from my last video. I appreciate that so much. Really, like I can't believe how many of you guys took the time to like really write something meaningful and then like let me know that you wrote something meaningful. Like I'm gonna start crying, and I don't want to because my makeup is already watering off because I'm very sneezy right now. But just know that I am beyond appreciative for you even taking a second to do it, and the fact that you guys, so many of you told me the nice things that you said, and it was just really, 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 really nice to hear, and I appreciate it so much, and thank you so, so much. If you have no idea what I'm talking about right now, sorry, I'll rewind for a second. Sephora is looking for influencers to be a part of like a group that they're working with in 2019, and they're asking us to get our followers to write testimonials about why they like us. I left a link in my last video. I'll leave a link here too. If you would like to write me a testimonial, please feel free. No obligation though. Obviously, you know, you guys are very busy, so thank you in advance if you do. This video is pretty straightforward, no reviews or swatches or anything today. I just wanted to like dip back into a palette that we already have and create some more looks, and that is what we're doing. They are going to be on the simpler side, so hopefully this isn't a bazillion years long video. But either way, I'll timestamp each look down below, so if you only want to see the first, the second, or the third, you can just go check those out. I think that's all we needed to talk about before we get started, so I'll shut my big dumb face and we will just get right into the first look. To start our first look, the first order of business is we need to define the crease. Even though this is going to be a lash line centric kind of a look, the crease, it always needs a little bit of help. So I'm going to go into this shade here that works well as a transition for me. If you have a little bit of a deeper skin tone, perhaps one of these as a transition would be better. But I'm looking for something that's just a little bit deeper than my natural skin tone, just to serve as like a little bit of dimension and not make my eyelid look completely flat. Now that that crease has like a little bit of definition, I want to grab a blue shade. One of these shades is called Brother. I don't remember which one is which. If you are new here and you haven't seen one of my videos with this palette before, I promptly lost the sheet with the names on them like during the first tutorial. So I don't know what the names are, but I'm gonna start with this blue here. And I'm picking up a MAC 268S brush. I packed that blue onto both sides, and I'm just going to start by stamping out the outer portion of a wing using the shape of that brush. Next, I'm going to pick up a MAC 266S brush. This is also an angled brush, but clearly quite a bit smaller. I'm going into that same blue shade, and I'm just going to use this to fill in the center because it's a little smaller, it's more precise. And I'll also use that to just touch up the edges and make sure that it's a smooth line. Okay, so I'm gonna take that same small MAC 266S brush and I'm going to go into this more cornflower blue shade. I do believe that one is Brothers. I'm gonna pick up that shade and I am going to use that for the inner portion of the line. With those two shades down, I'm going to take a small clean blending brush. This is a MAC 221. I'm just going to go along the edge and blend that out, specifically on the bottom edge, because I want that to be a little bit more soft focus so that it's clear that it's done with shadow and not just like a colorful liner. But I think I want to keep the top edge nice and crisp. As you go along, if you feel like you're losing some of the opacity in the wing or you need to adjust the shape, just go back in with the small brush again and just dab-de-doo-dah and fix it. I'm gonna go and touch up underneath my eyes because I did concealer already, but I jacked it all up by resting my fingers on it, and that's a mistake. So I'm gonna fix it and then we will move on to a couple more little finishing touches. Okay, now I'm gonna start working a little bit on the lower lash line. So I'm going to fill in my waterline. I'm gonna use the Urban Decay pencil in the color Chaos. And I'm gonna clean off that same MAC 228S brush on the little sponge. I'm gonna go back into this more cornflowery blue shade, and I'm gonna start pressing that in along the lower lash line. And again, I'm going to blend out the edges of that with a clean blending brush and just bring it all together on the outside. Okay, I want to brighten up the inner corner a little bit, and I know right now this is looking a little bit unbalanced. That'll all kind of come together a little bit more when we put lashes on. So I'm going to brighten up the inner corner with this reflective whitish shade here. The shade reminds me a lot of MAC Nylon, which if you are an OG watcher of YouTube tutorials, I'm just wetting this on a pencil brush, you know that MAC Nylon was like the inner corner highlight back in the day. Like, every YouTuber used MAC Nylon as an inner corner highlight for the longest time. And for good reason, it was a good highlight. I'm just gonna soften the edges of that with a clean brush, and then I'm gonna go back in with that small angle brush again and just touch up the blue. Okay, I put on the House of Lashes Stella Luxe Lash. I highlighted with the MAC Hyper Real Glow in the color Shimmy Peach. And I used the CoverGirl Exhibitionist Waterproof Mascara, which I have been using pretty much every day lately and loving. It's so good. And to finish off this look, I want to add a little something. So I'm gonna grab my little bag of clear flat back crystals. Whenever I use crystals or flat back pearls or anything in my videos, you guys always ask where I get them from. I usually order them on Amazon. It's pretty easy to find like bags of crystals, flat back pearls, things like that on Amazon for a pretty good price. And there's really good variety of them, so that's usually where I get that stuff. And I'm gonna pick up one of these medium-sized ones and just put them in the center underneath each eye with the House of Lashes Clear Glue. To finish this off, you could definitely keep it really, really simple and pair this up with a nice nude gloss. I would suggest something like one of my favorites, Wet Cherry Gloss from Lime Crime in the shade Bitter Cherry, one of my go-tos. But because I'm going for the bright, super neon thing today, I am going to pick up one of the newer shades of the Fenty Stunna Lip Paint. This is the shade Unlocked. I just did a video about these the other day. If you haven't seen that yet, I'll link it up here on the screen. But I think that bright fuchsia pink will be a nice contrast to this blue, so we're gonna go with that. And this is the first look. Okay, so we're starting look number 2, and I actually filmed this look yesterday and had to stop because I was having a really hard time with my eyes watering. And with a lot of these bright matte shades, if your eyes water, it kind of gets into the shadow and the shadow changes colors and it never looks the same. And I did it 3 times and it kept happening, and my eyes were really irritated, and I said, you know what? today we're gonna take a break and we're gonna start again tomorrow. So it's the next morning. Hello, welcome back. Now I primed my eyes already. I used my usual Urban Decay primer potion in the color Eden over most of the lid, but I also took a little teeny bit of the Super Brow from Kat Von D in the color White Out and just dabbed it on my inner corners to brighten that area a tiny bit and make it a little bit more of a whitish base. We're gonna put a bright shade on the inner corner and that's gonna kind of just help that pop a little bit more. It's a very subtle difference. You don't have to do that to make the look work, but you know, I don't know, it's the little things I think. So to start the look, I wanted to define the crease. I'm gonna go into this mid-tone brown that has a bit of an orangey undertone. I'm taking that on my BH number 5 brush and I'm just going to, first of all, tap out any creases that are happening in my base and then press that right through the crease, packing the color down, and I'm going to blend the edges out after. I'm also bringing that onto the outer portion of my lid. I'm just gonna blend the edge of that with a clean brush. I'm gonna take this Luxie 131 mini angle brush and I'm going to go into this similar but slightly lighter brown. I'm just gonna tap that along the edge of where I put that shade down on the lid, just kind of give it a little bit more of a gradient. And essentially the space we have left here is where I put down a little bit more of that white base, and that is where we're going to put our bright yellow. So I'm going into the bright yellow matte shade in this. I have like a weird thing going on in mine where it looks like I dripped something in the middle and it just, I don't know, it like left a permanent mark there. But I'm picking up that yellow on a dome brush. This is from Sonia Kashuk, and the reason I chose this shade is because it's good for packing a color down and then also getting a little bit of a blend on it right away. Going back in with that same angle brush and just kind of tapping over where those two meet to blend. And I'm gonna put a little bit more of that yellow down with a smaller brush just to kind of start building it up. With these matte bright shades, sometimes if you just like build up the pigment, you kind of get a result that's a lot more vibrant than if you just went in one time with it. To add something a little bit fun, I'm going to try a product that's fairly new to me. I picked this up at Ulta this week. This is the Stila Magnificent Metals Liquid Eyeshadow in the color Wanderlust. I picked it up because Raw Beauty Christy said that I needed to, and she was right because it is gorgeous. But today I'm gonna use it really, really minimally because I just want it just a little right here, just like a little touch of glimmery spotlight where those two colors meet. I'm actually gonna take it from the wand on an eyeliner brush and just dab it on where I want it because I don't want it to overpower the look. How beautiful is that reflection though? It's so pretty. Christy, I know you don't know that we're best friends yet, but like when you figure out that we are, I can't wait to thank you for recommending this. Now that that's on the top, I'm gonna go back into the lighter of those two orangey brown shades. This time on a Luxie 141 mini brush. I'm just gonna run that underneath my lower lash line. Next, I'm picking up more of that yellow on my BH number 7 again, and I'm just going to softly bring that underneath and make it meet where we put down the brown. And just like on the top, I'm gonna take a little bit of Wanderlust on my eyeliner brush. Just gonna softly place that between the two shades. Just such a little dab of it. To brighten up my waterline, I'm going to pick up the Benefit Roller Eye Bright and just run that through my waterline. Do you guys ever notice that you sneeze more when you haven't trimmed your nose hairs? I say that because I'm about to sneeze. So I put on the House of Lashes Iconic Light Lashes and I put on the MAC Shimmy Peach Highlight again, and now I want to pair this with a lip. So what I want to do for the lips here is go with the classic bright red. This is Uncensored from Fenty, my favorite red of all time. And this is the second look. For the third look, I want to go pink. We're gonna go pink or go home. And the reason that I'm doing this pink look is because I feel terrible that I didn't get a second Valentine's Day 3 looks video up before Valentine's Day. So this is like a little bonus Valentine's look. So I'm gonna go into this color here. I know for a fact that this one is called Skip because this one was the subject of much controversy. I'm gonna pick up Skip on my BH number 5 brush, and I am placing that through my crease, but also down over my whole lid. I'm just leaving the area in the center open. I'm switching to a smaller BH number 7 brush just because I want the color to come through the crease in the center, but I don't want it to go down onto the lid. So I'm just using that to place it just in a smaller area. Telling you, it's the nose hairs. I'm gonna pick up a clean brush and just start blending the edge of that out. On that same small BH brush, I'm not even gonna clean it off. I'm gonna go into this more fuchsia purple shade here. Just use that to deepen up the outer corner of that pink. I'm gonna go into this dark matte purple shade. I'm just gonna press that right along the outer portion of the lash line. Okay, I want the inner portion of the eyes to be really, really bright and very, very matte. So I'm gonna go into the matte white shade in this palette on a MAC 217 brush. And I'm just going to pack that on the empty area. And I'm gonna overlap that onto the pink a little bit, and we're gonna blend it in a second with another color. I'm gonna go into this light pastel pink shade here. I'm just gonna tap that where the white and the pink meet and blend that in there. I'm gonna pick up that Luxie 141 mini brush again, and I'm gonna go back into the shade Skip. And I'm gonna use that along my lower lash line just to connect that into the top. And I'm gonna take a very small blending brush and just blend the edge of that, gently connecting it into the top part. And I'm gonna go back into that matte purple shade on the same Real Techniques detail brush, and I am going to push that into the lower lash line just to define that softly like we did on the top. Okay, I put on House of Lashes Stella Luxe, and I filled in a couple of my moles with my Urban Decay Brow Blade in Brunette Betty. And now I'm gonna add a lip, and to contrast this pink, I wanna go with something nice and warm. So I'm gonna line my lips with Kat Von D OG Lolita pencil, and then top them with the Lime Crime White Cherry Gloss in Bitter Cherry. And this is the third look. Okay, and that is all for the 3 looks today. My eye is watering over here again and ruining this eyeshadow already, which is really driving me crazy. But I also can't stop sneezing, like I said before. I'm pretty sure it's an overgrown nose hair situation. Comment down below if you sneeze too much when you don't trim your nose hairs often. Do not forget to leave a like on this video if you don't mind taking a second, because it really helps me out and I always appreciate it. If you are new here, do not forget to subscribe because I would love to have you around for more videos. There are plenty on their way. For the rest of the week, I am going to be traveling, so I do plan on having another video up. Hopefully, I can get that done before I go. However, if I don't seem to be responding to comments and stuff as quickly, that's why I am out of town. If you'd like to keep up with me between videos, I'm at Miss Quinface on all other social media. I specifically use Instagram the absolute most. If you want to see behind the scenes, PR unboxing, what I'm eating, my iced coffee recipes, run some polls to figure out what we're going to do here next on this channel, that is the place to do that, so I would love to have you. That is pretty much all I have to say for today. I am going to go figure out why my eyes won't stop watering and why I don't stop sneezing, because it's making me angry inside of me. Thank you so much for watching. I always appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one.